Backend development has completely changed since 2020. If you're thinking about becoming a backend engineer, or you're already one trying to figure out what's next, this video will give you everything you need to know. Today, I'm going to break down exactly what backend engineering looks like this year and what you can expect going into the next year. We'll cover 5 main areas that will expand beyond just coding and where this field is heading for the future. Whether you're new to programming or have experience, this video will be explained in pretty simple layman terms so everyone can follow along. So let's start with what backend engineers even do. Before we talk about jobs and career path, let's make sure we understand what backend engineers actually do every day. Think of a restaurant. When you sit down and order food, you see the waiter, the dining room, and maybe you can have a peek into the kitchen. But there's a whole world you don't see. The supply chain of getting the ingredients, the inventory management, maybe the payment processing or the scheduling of all the workers. You can think of this as the backend engineers or the backend application on how a restaurant functions. Or when you open up Instagram and you scroll through your feed and you see all the photos and videos, but behind the scenes, backend engineers built that system. The backend engineers themselves store millions of photos and videos. They decide which posts that you see first. They handle millions of people using the application at the same time. They also are the ones that, send the notification to your phone or send notifications to other people. And they just keep your account secure. A backend engineer's typical day may include writing code that processes customers' payments or fixing bugs that slow down the website and building new features that the UI team needs to be able to integrate into their application. So backend engineers write code, but they also solve puzzles. They figure out how to make the systems work faster and handle more users and stay online, really even when things can go wrong. So since we know what backend engineering now is, let's go ahead and just kind of look at the job market. The tech job market has been wild, so wild over the last few years. You've probably heard about layoffs at big tech companies like Meta, Amazon, and Google. You might be wondering if backend engineering is still even a safe career choice. And here's what I think. I think backend engineering remains one of the most stable and in-demand parts of tech there is. So you might be thinking hey, Eric, why do you think backend engineers are so important and in such high demand? The reason to me is pretty simple. Backend engineers are too important to cut corners on. When a company's backend fails, literally everything fails. The entire application, their entire tech is down. I'll give you an example. In 2023, a popular food delivery app had their backend crash during a busy Friday night. I think it was probably after trying to deploy something. For 3 hours, nobody could place orders. The company lost millions of dollars and thousands of restaurants lost money too. Having the system go down is always more expensive than having enough backend engineers to support what's going on. Companies know that reliable backend systems make or break their systems. Literally everyone knows that they're a tech company now. So even when they're cutting corners in other areas of the business, they know that they still need to keep their engineers around to keep their systems running. Now, with that though, even though the job trends are looking good for backend engineers, the bar has risen to get in. So what that really means now is that companies are just pickier about who they can hire. It's not enough just to know how to code anymore. This isn't 2010. If you just know how to code, you're going to get a job. Modern backend engineers need to understand, a couple important things. 1, they need to know how to write code that works. 2, they need to be able to design systems that don't break when it scales from thousands to tens of thousands of people. They need to know how to find and fix problems quickly when things can go wrong, and how to deploy and work with cloud architecture like Amazon Web Services or Google Cloud. A recruiter I spoke with named Amanda said she's seeing companies take longer to make hiring decisions recently. They're doing more technical interviews and asking candidates to solve real problems, not just answer questions. So instead of just being hey, what's this do in Python or what's this do in Java? It's how can we build this application and what are the steps you would do? But on the flip side, if you can demonstrate these skills, companies will compete for you. Good backend engineers are still hard to find, and you can see just in jobs that are out there, everyone wants a great senior engineer. So this brings me to my next question, which is what types of companies are looking for these great backend engineers? And the good news is that backend engineers work everywhere. They're not just in tech companies, they're literally in every company you can imagine. Traditional companies like banks, they need engineers to build secure payment systems. Hospitals need engineers to manage patient data. Retail companies need engineers to handle online shopping and e-commerce. Insurance companies need engineers to build platforms where they can process claims. Even local governments hire backend engineers to build, citizen services and, websites for people. This diversity means more job opportunities and more stable careers. If one industry slows down, you can often find work in another industry. And that's all great news for any kind of engineer. But backend engineers do need to know way more than just code, like I was mentioning before. And this is probably the biggest change in backend engineering over the past few years. The job has expanded, beyond just writing code. We can kind of think of this as like two separate paths. So there's the old way of doing it and the new way. 5 years ago, back engineering worked like an assembly line. Like if you're in like the manufacturing world, you would be able to like write your code, hand it off to the DevOps team. They would figure out how to deploy it live for the world to use. If something broke, they might give it back to the dev where they have a bug ticket and they might try and fix it a little bit. And that process would kind of repeat. Today, backend engineers are expected to kind of own their entire work from start to finish. So let me now break down what that kind of looks like. So before you just wrote the code, now you might need to write the infrastructure. You don't just write the application code, you also need to write the code, so like infrastructure as code, to tell the computer systems where your application is, how it should run, how much memory it needs, how to handle traffic spikes. For example, it may look like this. Like first, you write the actual application code. You still have to write the code, right? That processes like the user's requests. Then you have to write all the configuration files that tells like Amazon Web Services, AWS, exactly how to run that application, like which services to spin up, which services to use, how many copies to run, how to distribute traffic between them. You may need to do all that kind of stuff. Now, another thing that's becoming really popular in backend engineering is containerization with Docker. If you don't know what Docker is, it's like a shipping container for software. So like, just like how shipping containers work for like moving goods anywhere in the world using like, we're using like the same system for like software. So you can contain your software to be deployed on any operating system. Backend engineers now package their code in these Docker containers. This means that the code works exactly the same, whether it's running on your laptop or in a test environment or, live on production servers that customers use. You may also need to manage like the entire CI/CD pipelines, and CI/CD stands for continuous integration and continuous deployment. This is kind of the automation system that takes your code from your computer and puts it live for customers to use. So it might be like a process that when you deploy to Git, we run our tests, we then deploy that to a different environment, and it's like process called continuous integration and continuous delivery. Now, backend engineers who embrace, these broader rules advance faster in their careers. Companies value people who can build something and own everything from start to finish and make it reliable for customers. And if you're still believing that, that's not the backend responsibility, it's changing. I can promise you backend engineers are becoming the ones responsible for all of that. But this also means that the learning curve is steeper, right? You have to learn all this stuff. You can't just learn one programming language anymore. AI, is helping write code and making that easier. But you still need to understand like systems, cloud services, monitoring tools, and all the different types of deployment processes. The good news from all that is engineers who develop these skills and can kind of work in all these areas become extremely valuable and, almost become irreplaceable. But with that, let's kind of switch context. And now let's talk about the essential skills that are needed for modern backend engineers kind of outside of what we were just talking about, kind of going a little bit deeper. And if you're thinking about becoming a backend engineer or you want to advance in your career, here are the skills that matter most this year and definitely going into next year. You need to be really good at least one backend programming language. And, if you're not familiar with the different languages to pick from, Python, Java, JavaScript, Go, C#, Rust, there's so many. I'd recommend choosing one of them, going all in. Every backend system also stores data somewhere, right? You need to understand how to write queries to get data quickly from databases, how to design database schemas that perform well. Now, for this, I typically recommend SQL and a database like PostgreSQL. APIs, which are known as like application programming interfaces, are how different parts of software talk to each other and are integrated. So backend engineers typically design and build APIs that mobile apps or websites and other systems use to get data and perform actions. Also, most companies run their backend systems on cloud platforms. And if you're not familiar with cloud platforms, I highly, highly, highly recommend learning at least one of them good enough, which is like AWS, which is probably the biggest and most popular. Google Cloud Platform, which is normally known as GCP, it's growing rapidly, and Microsoft Azure, which is very popular among Microsoft products. And on top of that, you probably also want to know some system design. This is the ability to plan like different parts of larger applications together. And system and design really includes like how to split a larger application into smaller manageable pieces, how to handle a bunch of users without the system slowing down, how to store and process large amounts of data efficiently. You need to learn system design. And lastly, you also need to know Git and version control. Git is how engineers track changes to their code and collaborate with other teammates. Every backend engineer needs to be comfortable with Git. Now, it can change like GitHub, Bitbucket, none of that really matters, but you need to be comfortable with Git itself. So let's talk about like the career paths in backend engineering. So it's not all just like backend engineers all do the same thing. They have different career paths. And here are the main directions you typically go if you're a back engineer. There's the technical career track. This path focuses more on becoming an expert at building and designing systems. This is like your traditional flow that you see kind of everywhere, where you go from like junior software engineer to mid engineer to senior to staff to principal. And that's usually like the flow. Now, every company will have different items, like maybe distinguish at the end. But at the end of the day, each level, you take on harder technical challenges and you mentor less experienced engineers. And you might be working on more broader company technical paths. Now, if you don't want to be an individual contributor, there's usually the management track. This path involves like leading teams and engineers. And usually this becomes an option once you hit senior as an individual contributor. So I'm not going to go through that whole like junior mid again. It's usually kind of starts at the senior level, and then you can become like an engineering manager, maybe director of engineering, VP of engineering. It's usually like the business and people path for this one. But you still need to have strong technical skills, but you're more managing people, plan projects, and make strategic decisions instead of like being like the person focused on like the tech of whatever you're building. And then there's also what I'm going to call like the architecture path or architecture track. This path focuses on designing large complex system and kind of also starts after senior, but you're not actually writing the code. You're more like designing systems. So you might start as a senior engineer, then you might go on like the application architecture. There's also like a solutions architect, which is a little bit different, more salesy, but then they kind of go into, staff architecture principle as well. And architecture works with multiple teams. So they don't just work on one team. They usually work on multiple teams to make sure everything is connected and following the right processes and culture choices for tech within that company. Now, there are some specialized areas too. So like outside of that, there's like data engineering, machine learning, Internet of Things, AI. All of these still fall under that backend engineering umbrella. So with all this, like what does the future of backend engineering look like? So based on the current trends that I'm seeing and, talking to engineers at companies of all sizes, here's what I'm seeing. The most important thing is artificial intelligence integration. AI isn't replacing backend engineers. It's changing what they do. But backend engineers are now building systems that aren't just CRUD apps, right? They're building systems that use AI for automatic decisions. They're using AI to process amounts of data that AI systems need. They need to be able to handle the increased computing power that AI requires if you're creating your own model. And then pretty much all applications here that are dealing with LLMs need to learn how to integrate these LLMs into their applications. So like building agentic AI systems are going to be a top priority in the near future, where I truly believe almost all systems will integrate, similar to like how all systems currently use the internet today. Now, on top of that, there's also something called distributed systems. Companies are breaking their larger monolith applications into smaller independent services. So instead of like one giant application that does everything, companies may start building dozens of smaller services that each do one thing well. Now, this approach makes systems a little bit more flexible, maybe a little bit more reliable, but it also adds like another level of complexity. But with the rise of AI, I think they're going to become even more popular. Back engineers need to learn how to build these distributed systems because like a lot of these AI services are their own service that integrates with their application already. So I could see how that just kind of starts creating a wave of multiple, services for applications. Now, users are also slowly expecting instant responses. Like they want notifications immediately. They want real-time updates and systems that react to changes as they happen. This really means that real-time data is going to be very important for backend engineers and that they need to build more event-driven systems. So systems that like automatically respond to events, like when the user places an order or the inventory is running low or without waiting for someone to like manually check something. I think the key here is two things, just automation and fast responses. Now, the last thing AI will bring, though, to the table is new opportunities for security and privacy. LLMs, when integrated into your application, can cause crazy security leaks, especially if you implement it into like a RAG system or you're giving it data. And there's going to be a huge push for backend engineers that really understand how they can make MCPs and chatbots and everything significantly safer for integration within their application. So if you're wanting one of these careers, what do companies look for when they're wanting to hire a backend engineer? I mean, understanding what employers want can help you focus your learning and really just overall improve your chances of getting a job. So here's the technical skills. So we're going to kind of break it up into multiple different skills. Here's the technical skills that companies care about. Number one is always problem-solving ability. Can you break down complex problems into manageable pieces? How's your code? Does your code have good code quality? Do you write clean code, maintainable code that other engineers can, read even if you're using AI? And then also system thinking. Can you understand how different parts of a system work together? And then if there is a bug, are you able to debug? Can you find and fix issues quickly when things go wrong? Employees value candidates who have these, but there's also some bonus points, characteristics that they also really look for. Can you build and deploy real applications that people use? Have you deployed before? Have you ever worked with production systems that handle real data and real user traffic? Have you ever experienced troubleshooting issues in a live environment by looking at logs? Are you able to understand how, the systems can scale? If the application grows, how you can grow with it? Now, the good news is that most of this can be learned. That is why I'm such a big advocate of building side projects, because building side projects can teach you so much. But those are the technical skills. Companies also look for soft skills, because technical skills are absolutely not everything. And people hate talking about soft skills in tech for some reason, but they're so important. You need to have communication. Can you explain technical concepts to non-technical members? Can you work effectively with designers and product managers and other engineers? And do you have a learning mindset? Are you curious and willing to learn new technologies to really keep yourself growing? And you lastly really need to have ownership mentality. You need to be able to take responsibility for what you build and for what you agree to. And can you push through all the way to completion? And with that, though, there's usually some common challenges that backend engineers run into. So let's kind of go through those and how to overcome them, because being a backend engineer is not easy. There's some common challenges, and that would be imposter syndrome is probably the biggest one. That's when many backend engineers feel like they don't know enough or they're not qualified for their role. This is normal. Technology moves so fast. There's always a new framework or tool that you've never heard of. You can't know everything. The biggest thing you can have is just a learning, having continuous learning, but going completely deep in one area and knowing that you can learn and do anything. They also want you to be able to deal with complex systems. So modern backend systems can be incredibly complex. It's easy to feel overwhelmed. So you need to be able to break down these complex systems into smaller services and be able to understand, one component at a time to see how everything's working. And kind of back to the very first one of imposter syndrome, try your best to stay updated with, emerging technology, especially AI right now. There's so many things to understand, OpenAI, Claude, Gemini, all these video creation AI tools. There's so much. AI is definitely revolutionizing things. So don't be scared of it. Instead, we need to be able to embrace it. Backend engineering is a rewarding career, guys. You definitely want to get into it if you haven't, but it's really for people who enjoy building complex systems. You like being able to impact millions of people's lives. You're a continuous learner, and you can handle working with abstract systems and abstract ideas. And when you match those all together into a job, the satisfaction is unreal. So good luck, and hopefully you enjoyed the video and was able to learn something, and I'll see you in the next.